Welcome back, American Coin Hunter. When I first picked up the 2021 D Lincoln penny in my hand, I had no idea that this tiny copper-plated piece of metal, worth just 1 cent in everyday transactions, could tell such a fascinating story. I had heard whispers online, videos claiming that some error versions of this penny were worth insane amounts of money. Some people talk about millions, even figures like $164 million. But in the real world of coin collecting, the truth is both more grounded and more interesting in its own way. This is the journey of the 2021 D penny. Its design, its history, what makes an error coin, how collectors see these pieces, and what real value they can have in today's market. The 2021 Lincoln Cent is part of the long-running Lincoln Penny series that began back in 1909. That first coin was issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it replaced the old Indian head penny. For over a century, Lincoln has appeared on the front, the obverse, of the 1 cent coin. The Lincoln Cent is iconic not just in the United States, but worldwide among collectors who see it as one of the most fascinating series in American coinage. Coin identifier by 2021, the design had evolved, but some core elements remained the same. On the front, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Around that portrait are the words "In God We Trust," the word liberty, and the year 2021, along with a mint mark when the coin was made outside of Philadelphia. A 2021 D penny, for example, shows a small D beneath the year indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. On the back, the reverse, is the Union Shield design that's been in use since 2010. That shield symbolizes Lincoln's role in keeping the United States united during its most turbulent years. Coin identifier technically, the 2021 penny measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter and weighs about 2.5 grams. Its composition isn't the old solid copper of early pennies. Instead, it's mainly zinc with a thin layer of copper plating. That gives the coin its reddish appearance, but keeps production costs lower. Coin identifier ordinary 2021 D pennies are very common. By last official estimates, billions of pennies were produced in that year alone, and most of them circulate in pocket change, coin rolls, and jars under mattresses. In typical uncirculated mint condition, a standard 2021 D penny might be worth around 36 cents or so to collectors. That's well above face value, but still modest compared to dramatic error coins. USA Coin Book. So how does an ordinary penny become extraordinary? That's where errors and varieties come into play, and that's the heart of what collectors love. An error coin is one that escaped the normal minting process with a flaw, something that shouldn't have happened. These errors can range from tiny die cracks to coins struck significantly off-center, double strikes, missing elements, and other anomalies. For collectors, this makes each error coin a kind of accidental artwork, a moment frozen in metal where something unusual occurred. Coin identifier +1. One of the more talked about 2021 penny errors is the so-called spiked head penny, where due to a die break, a raised spike of metal appears coming off Lincoln's head. It's subtle but collectible. There are also die chips where small pieces of metal on the die break off and create raised blobs or defects on the coin's surface. These aren't always dramatically valuable, but they are signs that something interesting happened during the minting process. Coin identifier +1. Collectors watch for a variety of error types. Off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't properly aligned when struck, so part of the design is missing from one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, generally the more collectible. Coin identifier double dies or doubling errors, where text or elements appear doubled because of a die issue. These can be subtle or dramatic, and serious collectors love them. Coin value checker die cracks and cuds, where cracks in the die transfer into raised lines or blobs on the coin. Coin identifier strike-through errors, where foreign material like grease or metal gets between the die and planchet, causing distortions. Bizarre hobby. The presence of such errors can increase a coin's value, but how much depends on rarity, appeal, and condition. In fact, professional grading by companies such as PCGS or NGC can certify a coin's authenticity and assign it a grade that reflects how sharp and well-preserved it is. Collectors often pay premiums for graded coins because they know they're getting what they think they're getting. Coin value checker now. Back to that idea of insane values. Sensational content online sometimes claims modern pennies are worth millions or even tens of millions of dollars. But those figures aren't supported by real auction records or credible sales. For 2021 pennies, auction records show interesting results. For instance, there are documented sales of 2021 pennies with high grades, like MS68RD, that have fetched a few $1,000s in rare cases. But values in the millions are speculative and unsupported. Coin Value Checker that said, the world of coin collecting has real legends, coins that actually brought extraordinary prices. For example, some old Lincoln wheat pennies from the 20th century, especially rare errors like the 1943 bronze planchet cents, have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. One Denver-minted 1943 copper penny reportedly sold for around $840,000 at auction. These older classics show how rarity, historical quirks, and genuine mint errors can combine to create numismatic legends. Modern coins like the 2021 D-era pennies don't yet have that long history or verified million-dollar sales, but they do represent the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of finding something unusual in pocket change, and realizing that a tiny piece of metal can tell a story about production, human oversight, and chance. Coin identifier. So, if you're sitting on a handful of 2021 pennies, what should you do? First, don't automatically assume any one of them is a rare millionaire maker. That kind of hype exists mostly to get clicks and views. Instead, learn to inspect coins carefully. Look for off-center strikes where the date and mint mark may be cut off. Check for doubled letters or unusual raised blobs from die breaks. And consider sending the most interesting pieces to professional graders. Coin identifier. For many collectors, that's part of the joy, not just the potential monetary value, but the story behind the coin. Why did that error occur? What does it tell you about the minting process in 2021? How many others like it might be out there waiting to be discovered? These are the questions that keep coin enthusiasts up late, scanning through rolls of pennies in search of something rare. Coin Value Checker. In conclusion, the 2021 D Lincoln penny with an error isn't a guaranteed treasure worth tens of millions, but it can be genuinely collectible and valuable depending on the specific error and condition. It's part of a long tradition of American coinage that stretches back over a century, and it sits in a fascinating segment of numismatics where everyday change intersects with history, chance, and value. Take the time to study your coins, understand what makes them unique, and appreciate that, whether worth a few dollars or thousands, they are more than just metal. They're pieces of history you can hold in your hand. Coin identifier. When you look closely at a 2021 D Lincoln penny, the first thing you notice is the sharpness of the strike and the intricate details of Lincoln's portrait. While it may seem like just a small piece of copper-plated zinc, every line, contour, and letter on that coin represents a carefully engineered minting process that has been refined over decades. The United States Mint, responsible for producing billions of coins each year, uses highly sophisticated machinery and dies that are engraved with extreme precision. The Lincoln cent dies go through multiple stages of inspection, polishing, and proofing before any coin is struck. Yet despite all this precision, errors still slip through. This is one of the fascinating aspects of numismatics. No matter how advanced technology becomes, the human and mechanical factors involved in coin production leave room for unpredictability, which is what makes error coins like the 2021 D penny so exciting to collectors. The 2021 D penny is particularly interesting because it was minted during a year when the U.S. Mint was balancing production for circulation coins and collector coins under extraordinary global conditions. The year 2021 saw disruptions and adaptations in minting processes due to supply chain issues and workforce adjustments, which may have contributed, in small part, to the occurrence of certain errors. Even minor misalignments in dies, variations in planchet thickness, or subtle misfeeds in the minting presses could result in unique characteristics on coins that otherwise look ordinary to the untrained eye. Some of these characteristics are called die anomalies, which include die cracks, cuds, or unusual doubling on letters and numbers. For instance, a 2021 D penny may feature doubling on the mint mark or date if the die shifted slightly during striking. This doubling, if clearly visible, can dramatically increase the coin's interest among collectors and sometimes its value. Beyond the technicalities of striking, understanding the composition of the 2021 penny is critical for assessing errors and their impact on value. Unlike the older 1909 to 1982 pennies that were predominantly copper, the 2021 penny is mostly zinc with a thin copper plating. This means the planchet, the blank disc used for striking, is softer than solid copper and can deform more easily under pressure. That is why some errors, like off-center strikes or die chips, are more prominent and collectible. For example, if a die strikes a slightly off-center zinc planchet, part of Lincoln's face or the shield on the reverse may be missing, resulting in a visually striking and rare coin. Collectors prize these anomalies not only for their rarity, but also because they serve as a tangible snapshot of the minting process and the conditions under which these coins were produced. The market for error coins is as fascinating as the coins themselves. While mainstream collectors might see a 2021 D penny as almost valueless beyond face value, specialty collectors and error enthusiasts recognize the rarity of certain anomalies. An off-center strike that removes 30 to 40% of the design, for instance, could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, demand, and certification. Coins with severe doubling, especially on the date or mint mark, often attract higher prices. A coin with a dramatic die crack on Lincoln's head or the shield can command premiums if it is visually appealing and well-preserved. These nuances are critical because collectors are willing to pay more not just for rarity, but for eye appeal, the aesthetic quality of the error, and how dramatic or interesting it looks. Certification is key in establishing a coin's value. Organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, grade coins not just on strike and condition, but also on authenticity. Having a 2021 D penny with an error certified by one of these grading companies assures potential buyers that the coin is not doctored, altered, or misrepresented. A certified off-center 2021 D penny with sharp details and no post-mint damage might sell for significantly more than a raw, ungraded version because the buyer has confidence in its authenticity. Grading also standardizes value. An MS-65 grade error will have a generally accepted market range, which makes it easier to buy, sell, or auction the coin. One of the more intriguing aspects of the 2021 D penny is how modern technology helps collectors identify errors. High-resolution photography, magnification, and online communities allow collectors to share images of anomalies, compare them to known varieties, and discuss potential value. Some rare errors are reported almost immediately after discovery on social media or collector forums. This instantaneous sharing contrasts sharply with earlier eras, when discovering a die crack or off-center strike required physical inspection of coin rolls and mail-order discussion among collectors. In a way, the 2021 penny marks a new chapter where errors can gain notoriety quickly and, in rare cases, prompt buyers to act fast, driving up prices in niche markets. Despite these exciting anomalies, it's important to maintain realistic expectations. While the 2021 D penny is certainly interesting to error enthusiasts, the market is different from that of historic rarities like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent coins from earlier eras benefited from limited mintage, historical context, and verified auction sales that justify six-figure or higher prices. The 2021 penny, being modern, is still very common in circulation. That means even dramatic errors, while rare, exist in greater numbers than historic rarities, which naturally moderates the upper limit of realistic market values. Nevertheless, these coins are still highly collectible within their niche. A striking off-center or doubled 2021 D penny could become the centerpiece of a modern collection, a conversation starter, and a tangible representation of minting anomalies in the 21st century. Another factor contributing to the value of error coins is popularity and demand. Certain errors become trendy, especially when featured in videos, blogs, or social media. A viral post highlighting a dramatic 2021 D penny error can create short-term spikes in interest. While this doesn't guarantee multi-million-dollar valuations, it does demonstrate how human interest, storytelling, and collectability intertwine. A coin that might have been worth $50 last week could suddenly see offers of hundreds if collectors recognize its uniqueness. The emotional and narrative aspect of error coins is a fascinating layer beyond technical rarity. It's what gives these coins their mystique and makes them exciting to research and collect. The history embedded in a 2021 penny is also remarkable. Each coin carries a timestamp of its production, a trace of the United States Mint's operations, and even subtle imprints of the global conditions in 2021. By examining the coins of this era, collectors gain insight into the evolution of minting technology, the materials used, and the meticulous processes that produce billions of coins for daily life. When an error occurs, it's like a small window into the complex machinery and human oversight that shapes each coin. In this way, even a simple penny is a tangible connection to history, economy, and production techniques. Collectors often talk about the thrill of discovery. Finding an error in a roll of pennies, perhaps in change received from a store or a forgotten collection drawer, is a moment of excitement akin to finding buried treasure. The 2021 penny, despite its modernity, offers that exact thrill. The idea that a coin minted last year could contain a unique flaw that distinguishes it from billions of other pennies gives ordinary collectors a sense of adventure and purpose. It's this combination of rarity, history, and human connection that keeps people exploring rolls of coins, attending coin shows, and submitting pieces for grading even in the digital age. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2021 Lincoln penny is the variety of errors that can occur, each with its own level of rarity, collectability, and market value. Even small deviations from the minting process can create coins that are dramatically different from their siblings. For instance, off-center strikes are among the most visually striking errors collectors look for. These occur when the planchet, the blank metal disc, is not perfectly aligned between the upper and lower dies during striking. The result can range from a barely noticeable misalignment, where only a fraction of the design is missing, to extreme cases where more than 50% of Lincoln's face or the shield on the reverse is absent. The more extreme the misalignment, the rarer the coin, and the higher the interest among collectors. Another error type that draws attention is the double die. In this scenario, the die itself, the engraved piece of metal used to strike the coin, is improperly prepared or misaligned, causing certain elements, like letters or numbers, to appear doubled. For the 2021 penny, a double date or mint mark is especially intriguing because it's extremely rare for modern pennies to have such prominent doubling. This kind of error can often be identified under magnification and, if certified, can significantly increase the coin's market value. Collectors often hunt for subtle doubling that might not be immediately visible to the untrained eye, creating an added layer of detective work and excitement. Die cracks and die chips are another category of errors that make the 2021 penny collectible. A die crack occurs when the metal die develops a small crack during the striking process. Each strike transfers the crack to the surface of the coin as a raised line or ridge, creating a unique signature on the coin that can never be perfectly replicated. Cuds are related phenomena where a piece of the die actually breaks off, leaving a raised, blob-like formation on the coin. Some 2021 pennies feature these die anomalies along Lincoln's head, the date, or even the shield on the reverse. Because every die crack or cud is unique, each coin essentially becomes one of a kind, which is highly appealing to collectors who focus on error varieties. Another fascinating and increasingly popular error type is the strike-through. This occurs when foreign material, such as a small piece of grease, a hair, or even another coin, gets caught between the die and the planchet during striking. This causes distortions in the metal where the material blocked the normal impression of the design. Strike-through errors on a 2021 penny can vary from minor surface anomalies to dramatic, visually distinct patterns that draw collector attention. Some strike-through coins appear almost artistic, with swirling textures or unexpected raised shapes, making them particularly desirable in niche markets. Collectors also study the planchet composition when examining errors. Since the 2021 penny is zinc-based with a copper plating, the metal is slightly softer than older solid copper pennies. This means that off-center strikes, die cracks, and cuds are often more pronounced and visible. The contrast between the shiny copper surface and the distortion of the metal makes errors more noticeable, which is part of why the 2021 penny has captured the attention of modern error collectors. Grading plays an essential role in determining how valuable an error coin can be. Modern coins, including the 2021 penny, are usually graded on a scale from 1 to 70 using standards established by PCGS and NGC. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered uncirculated and in superb condition, which adds significantly to its market appeal. However, grading an error coin can be nuanced because the error itself affects the coin's appearance. For instance, a dramatic off-center strike might lower the coin's traditional grade because part of the design is missing, but the rarity of the error can simultaneously increase the coin's value. Collectors and graders must balance the quality of the strike, preservation of the metal, and prominence of the error when determining overall worth. Beyond grading, provenance and market recognition are critical for establishing a coin's collectability. A 2021 D penny with a known discovery history, documented photos, and verification from multiple collectors or auction houses is often more valuable than a coin without any recorded history. Social media platforms, online forums, and coin communities play an increasingly important role in establishing this provenance. A coin that is posted online and gains recognition as a dramatic or rare error can generate heightened interest and even prompt bidding wars in online auctions. This community-driven aspect of collecting adds a modern dimension to the hobby, where the story behind the coin can be as important as the coin itself. Speaking of auctions, some modern 2021 D pennies with extreme errors have begun to appear in online auctions and collector sales. While sensational claims about hundreds of millions of dollars in value are unfounded, coins with pronounced off-center strikes or double dies have sold for hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. These real-world sales illustrate the difference between hype and actual market dynamics. A coin can be extremely collectible and still have a realistic, achievable market value. This is an important distinction for collectors because it prevents disappointment while maintaining the excitement of discovery. The appeal of collecting 2021 D pennies is not limited to potential monetary gain. For many collectors, the historical context and storytelling surrounding the coin are just as compelling. Every coin is a snapshot of the mint's operation, the year of production, and even broader economic and cultural conditions. A 2021 penny was minted during a period of global change, and holding one, especially a rare error, is a tangible connection to that era. The coin is not just currency. It's a historical artifact, a piece of industrial engineering, and, in the case of errors, a unique, unintended creation. Collectors also appreciate the challenge of hunting for errors. Modern coins are produced in the billions, which means that even a small error coin is hidden among millions of ordinary pieces. This makes finding a dramatic 2021 D penny error akin to a modern treasure hunt. Every roll of pennies could contain a potential gem, which keeps collectors engaged, whether they are sorting through coin jars, rolls from banks, or recently circulated change. The thrill of discovery, the instant recognition that a coin is different, strange, and rare, is what drives interest and makes modern error coins exciting even decades after they are minted. Furthermore, collecting modern error pennies like the 2021 D Lincoln Cent allows for community building among collectors. Online forums, Facebook groups, Reddit communities, and Discord servers exist solely for sharing information about errors, grading, and valuation. These platforms allow collectors to ask questions, share discoveries, and even trade coins. A single dramatic off-center 2021 D penny can become famous in these circles, garnering attention from collectors worldwide. This social aspect elevates the experience of collecting from a solitary hobby to a collaborative and interactive endeavor. One of the most compelling reasons collectors hunt for 2021 D pennies is the chance to find something that looks ordinary at first glance but hides a unique anomaly. Imagine pulling a coin from a roll, holding it up under the light, and noticing something subtly off. Maybe Lincoln's nose appears slightly doubled, or the shield on the reverse has an unusual raised line running across it. These are the moments that make modern penny collecting so exciting. Even though these coins are only a few millimeters thick and weigh barely 2.5 grams, the intricate details and imperfections can tell a story far greater than their size suggests. Each coin is a miniature window into the complex processes of the United States Mint, and the errors that occur are like tiny fingerprints of chance. Among the most dramatic and sought-after 2021 D penny errors are extreme off-center strikes. Coins with this type of error can be missing large portions of the design, sometimes cutting off Lincoln's entire head or the date. These errors are extremely rare because the Mint has automated systems designed to reject misaligned planchets, so any coin that escapes inspection is an exceptional find. For collectors, an extreme off-center strike is visually stunning and tells a story about the precision and occasional unpredictability of modern minting. Some collectors even refer to these as accidental art, because the irregular composition and unusual design create a pattern that is aesthetically fascinating, almost sculptural in nature. Another category that has garnered attention in 2021 pennies is the double die variety. Although it is rarer in modern coins than in classic mid-20th century pennies. When doubling occurs, certain elements of the design appear as though they have been struck twice, slightly offset. On a 2021 D penny, doubling can appear on the date, the D mint mark, or even parts of Lincoln's profile. These coins are particularly exciting because doubling is not just visually interesting. It is also a technical anomaly that cannot be replicated. When discovered, doubled die coins often make headlines in collector communities and are frequently submitted for professional certification to confirm the anomaly and assess value. Then there are die cracks and cuds, which occur when the metal dies used to strike the coins develop fractures or breaks over time. Each crack or cud creates a raised line or blob on the coin itself, producing a unique and irreplaceable feature. A die crack running across Lincoln's cheek or along the edge of the Union shield might initially seem like a minor imperfection, but for collectors, it is a defining characteristic that transforms an otherwise common coin into a collectible. Since each die crack is distinct, no two coins are identical, giving every coin with this error a one-of-a-kind status. Strike-through errors are also fascinating. These happen when a foreign object, a piece of dirt, grease, or even another coin, gets caught between the die and planchet during striking. The result is a distortion in the metal where the foreign object blocked part of the design. On a 2021 D penny, this can manifest as unexpected raised shapes, swirls, or textures that make the coin look entirely different from its siblings. Strike-through errors are highly collectible because they are completely unintentional, and they often appear almost artistic, with patterns that are unique to each coin point. One of the most subtle but important aspects of evaluating 2021 D penny errors is the condition of the coin, also known as grading. A coin with a dramatic error that has been handled heavily or circulated extensively will be worth far less than a similar error in pristine, uncirculated condition. This is why grading services like PCGS and NGC are crucial. These organizations not only verify the authenticity of an error, but also assign a grade that reflects the coin's preservation. For example, a 2021 D penny with a 40% off-center strike in MS65 condition can command a higher market value than the same error in a heavily circulated state. Collectors rely on grading to determine value, establish trust in the market, and protect their investment in rare coins. The story behind each coin is equally important. A collector who discovers a unique error in a roll of 2021 D pennies is not just holding a piece of currency, they are holding a piece of history. These coins are tangible connections to the operations of the United States Mint, the technology of coin production in 2021, and even the broader economic and cultural context of that year. Each error coin tells a story about the combination of human oversight, mechanical precision, and sheer luck. It is this narrative, more than the face value, that drives interest among collectors and fuels the excitement of discovery. The market for 2021 D error pennies has grown dramatically thanks to online platforms. Social media, collector forums, and auction websites allow enthusiasts to share images, compare findings, and even buy or sell coins quickly. A dramatic off-center strike or double die can gain recognition within days, sometimes prompting competitive bidding that elevates the coin's market value. While sensational claims of $164 million are unrealistic and unverified, modest but impressive sales in the hundreds or thousands of dollars demonstrate that these coins can be lucrative for collectors who understand the nuances of the hobby. Collectors also find value in scarcity. Although billions of 2021 pennies were produced, coins with noticeable errors are rare. Extreme off-center strikes, pronounced double dies, and large die cracks are much less common than ordinary circulation coins. This scarcity, combined with the uniqueness of each error, gives collectors a tangible sense of achievement when they discover one. Finding such a coin is akin to being part of a select group of people who have witnessed a rare occurrence in minting history. A small but meaningful connection to the craft of coin production. It is also worth noting the educational aspect of collecting modern pennies. Learning to identify errors, understand die varieties, and interpret minting anomalies teaches collectors about metallurgy, industrial processes, and precision engineering. A 2021 D penny with a subtle die chip can be a fascinating example of how a tiny flaw in a steel die transfers into metal, creating an object of curiosity and intrigue. This educational component adds depth to the hobby, making it more than just financial speculation and turning it into a study of craftsmanship and history. For some collectors, the aesthetic appeal of error coins is just as important as rarity or potential value. Coins with dramatic visual anomalies, whether an off-center strike or an artistic-looking strike-through, capture the imagination. They are often displayed in collections, photographed, or used to educate newcomers about the diversity and unpredictability of minting processes. These coins become conversation pieces, sparking stories about discovery, technique, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary in what otherwise seems like mundane currency. Finally, collecting 2021 D pennies with errors encourages community engagement. Collectors share their finds online, discuss grading nuances, and trade coins to complete sets or enhance collections. The discovery of a rare error can create instant recognition among peers, elevating a single coin from an ordinary mint piece to a celebrated item in the modern collecting community. This social aspect keeps the hobby dynamic and encourages ongoing exploration, research, and connection. It transforms the simple act of holding a penny into an experience that blends history, technology, and human curiosity into one fascinating package. To truly appreciate the 2021 D Lincoln penny, it's important to understand that every coin has a story behind its creation, and errors are chapters in that story. A single penny can reveal so much about the minting process, the material used, and the rare moments when something went slightly off script. When a coin is struck off-center or displays a doubled die, it is a snapshot of history frozen in metal. For collectors, holding such a coin is like holding a secret message from the United States Mint, one that tells of tiny anomalies, mechanical quirks, and the unpredictable dance of precision and chance. Each error is unique because it is essentially a one-of-a-kind accident, something that will never be replicated exactly the same way. One of the most dramatic and sought-after errors in the 2021 D penny series is the extreme off-center strike. Imagine Lincoln's profile shifted so far to one side that the date or the D mint mark is partially missing, or the reverse shield appears truncated. These coins are incredibly rare because the mint uses automated detection systems to remove coins that are badly misaligned. Yet occasionally, one slips through the cracks, making it a highly prized find. Collectors often describe the excitement of discovering an extreme off-center penny as unparalleled. It is visually striking, immediately recognizable, and tells a story of luck and rarity in the midst of billions of ordinary coins. Another fascinating type is the double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck using a die that was misaligned or improperly engraved. On a 2021 D penny, doubling can appear in the date, the mint mark, or even on Lincoln's facial features. The doubling can be subtle or dramatic, and in either case, it instantly elevates the coin's collectability. Modern double die coins are rarer than historic ones because contemporary minting technology reduces the likelihood of such errors. This rarity, combined with the visual impact of doubled lettering, makes such coins highly desirable for collectors and occasionally prompts professional grading for certification. Die cracks and cuds also add unique character to 2021 D pennies. A die crack occurs when the metal die develops a fissure during repeated strikes, and the raised line transfers to the coin. A cut happens when a chunk of the die breaks off completely, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin's surface. These anomalies might appear along Lincoln's jawline, the letters of Liberty, or the edges of the Union shield on the reverse. Because each crack or cud is distinct, these coins are truly one of a kind. Collectors value them not just for rarity, but for the story they tell. Each crack or blob is a testament to the minting process and a physical record of how even a high-tech mint can produce unexpected results. Strike-through errors are another captivating category. In these cases, foreign material, like dirt, grease, or even a stray metal fragment, gets trapped between the die and the planchet during striking. The result is a distorted design that often looks almost artistic, with raised shapes or unusual textures. On the 2021 D penny, strike-through errors can range from minor surface imperfections to dramatic distortions, each coin completely unique. The aesthetic appeal of these errors often drives collector interest as much as rarity or technical precision. Strike-through coins can transform an ordinary penny into a miniature piece of art, celebrated for its accidental creativity. Condition, or grading, is essential when evaluating 2021 D penny errors. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better preservation. A dramatic off-center strike or doubled die in MS 65 or higher condition can be worth significantly more than a similar coin in circulated condition. Professional grading by PCGS or NGC provides verification of both authenticity and condition, which gives collectors confidence when buying, selling, or auctioning their coins. Grading transforms uncertainty into credibility, turning a potentially valuable error into a marketable asset. The story behind each coin matters immensely to collectors. A 2021 D penny with a unique error isn't just a piece of currency. It is a tangible record of minting history, industrial precision, and human oversight. These coins were minted during a period of global economic fluctuation, supply chain challenges, and adaptations in the United States Mint. Each imperfection tells a story about production conditions and the small ways in which even the most standardized processes can produce surprises. For collectors, this narrative enhances the coin's appeal and can influence market value, sometimes as much as the physical characteristics themselves. Modern technology has also transformed how collectors discover and evaluate 2021 D penny errors. High-resolution photography, magnification, and online forums allow collectors to identify anomalies that might have gone unnoticed decades ago. Coins can be shared digitally, compared to known varieties, and discussed in real time with enthusiasts worldwide. This instant communication increases the visibility of rare errors and can drive interest and value more quickly than in previous eras. In some cases, a single dramatic coin posted online can spark discussions, generate excitement, and even create short-term spikes in market demand. The market for 2021 D penny errors is dynamic. While sensational claims of multi-million-dollar values are unverified, realistic market sales demonstrate that errors can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Extreme off-center strikes, prominent doubled dies, and unique die cracks have all fetched impressive prices at collector auctions. Coins with exceptional eye appeal or dramatic anomalies are particularly desirable, and certification adds further legitimacy, helping buyers and sellers reach fair, market-supported prices. Understanding these dynamics is key for anyone serious about collecting modern era pennies. Collectors also value scarcity. Although billions of pennies were minted in 2021, coins with significant errors are rare. The rarer the error, the more likely it is to attract attention and demand. Extreme examples, such as a 50% off-center strike or dramatic double die, are often considered the crown jewels of modern penny collections. The thrill of finding such a coin, whether by chance in a roll of change or through careful searching in uncirculated collections, is unmatched. Each find is a tangible confirmation that even in an age of mass production, rare and extraordinary things can still happen. In addition to rarity, the educational aspect of collecting 2021 D pennies cannot be overlooked. Studying these coins teaches collectors about metallurgy, die design, and the industrial processes behind coin production. Understanding how a die crack forms or how an off-center strike occurs enhances appreciation for the technical expertise required to produce billions of coins with near-perfect consistency. These educational insights elevate modern penny collecting from a casual hobby into a serious study of minting science and history. Aesthetic appeal is another critical factor in valuing 2021 D penny errors. Coins that display dramatic, visually striking anomalies often become highlights in a collection. Collectors enjoy displaying these coins, photographing them, and using them as teaching tools to illustrate the diversity of modern minting errors. A visually captivating coin, Whether it's an off-center strike, a double die, or a unique strike-through, often garners more attention than a coin that is merely rare. This interplay between rarity and eye appeal is central to understanding the modern error coin market. Finally, 2021 D-Penny collecting fosters community engagement. Online groups, forums, and social media platforms allow collectors to share discoveries, trade coins, and learn from each other. A single dramatic error coin can quickly gain recognition, creating conversations and connections across the globe. This social aspect adds depth to the hobby, transforming the solitary act of sorting coins into a shared experience that spans continents and cultures. Collectors become part of a network, united by a fascination with minting anomalies, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. When it comes to 2021 D-Lincoln pennies, one of the most exciting aspects for collectors is the real-world examples of error coins that have surfaced in circulation or in rolls purchased from banks. While the vast majority of pennies are perfectly struck and almost identical, every once in a while a coin emerges that breaks the mold. A die crack along Lincoln's jawline, a dramatic off-center strike that removes part of the date, or a subtle double die that only appears under magnification. These examples show how even in a modern minting environment with billions of coins produced, rare anomalies still slip through, giving collectors the thrill of discovery. For instance, consider a hypothetical extreme off-center 2021 D-Penny. In this case, Lincoln's entire left side is missing, leaving only part of the shield visible on the reverse. While such a coin might seem almost damaged at first glance, collectors recognize its rarity immediately. Coins like this are prized not just for their scarcity, but for the visual drama they present. A coin with a severe off-center strike of 40% or more could realistically fetch hundreds or even low thousands of dollars, depending on condition and certification. The excitement comes from knowing that this coin is one of possibly just a handful out of millions minted, making it a unique piece of numismatic history. Another example is a subtle double die error on the date or mint mark. On a 2021 D-Penny, doubling might appear as a faint second impression on the D or the last two digits of the year. Though not immediately dramatic to casual viewers, these coins are highly sought after by specialists. A collector who notices this anomaly and submits the coin for grading may find that it commands a premium over face value, particularly if the coin receives a high MS, mint state, grade from PCGS or NGC. The combination of rarity, documentation, and professional certification elevates the coin's desirability in a market that values verified anomalies. Die cracks and cuds provide another layer of collectible interest. Imagine a coin where a small raised line runs along the edge of Lincoln's cheek, or a blob of metal from a broken die appears near the base of the shield on the reverse. Each die crack or cud is unique, making every coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. While these errors may not always produce eye-popping market values, they attract collectors who focus on uniqueness and rarity. These coins are especially desirable when found in uncirculated condition, as the combination of preservation and anomaly dramatically increases their appeal. Strike-through errors add yet another fascinating dimension. For example, a 2021 D-Penny struck over a small piece of debris can develop unexpected textures or raised areas on Lincoln's head or the shield. These coins often look almost artistic, with patterns that are impossible to replicate intentionally. Strike-through errors demonstrate how unpredictable the minting process can be and give collectors a tangible example of accidental artistry in modern coin production. Some coins in this category have sold for hundreds of dollars when verified, proving that even small modern errors can carry real-world value. Understanding market dynamics is crucial for collectors seeking to invest in error pennies. While sensational claims of $164 million for a 2021 D-Penny are unfounded, realistic market values can range from a few dollars for minor errors to hundreds or low thousands for dramatic anomalies. The coin's grade, the type of error, and its eye appeal all contribute to value. Coins submitted for grading with extreme anomalies often see higher demand, as buyers have confidence in both authenticity and condition. This demonstrates that while modern pennies are abundant, unique errors provide a pathway to collectability and potential financial return for those who understand the hobby. Collector strategy plays a key role in success. Many enthusiasts search rolls of pennies from banks, knowing that uncirculated or minimally circulated coins have the highest likelihood of containing errors. Others focus on online auctions and verified coin dealers to acquire dramatic off-center strikes or double dies that are certified and authenticated. In both cases, patience, knowledge, and careful observation are essential. Errors can be subtle, so a sharp eye and magnification tools are often used to examine coins for anomalies, in addition to financial value. Collectors appreciate the historical significance and story behind each coin. Each 2021 D penny is a product of modern minting technology, reflecting the precise processes used by the United States Mint to produce billions of coins. Errors are a reminder that even the most advanced minting systems are not immune to anomalies. Holding a rare 2021 D penny with a unique error allows collectors to connect with that process and gain insight into how modern coins are created, making the hobby both educational and rewarding. The social aspect of collecting cannot be underestimated. Online communities, forums, and social media groups allow collectors to share discoveries, discuss grading, and compare coins. A dramatic 2021 D penny error can gain recognition quickly, drawing attention from collectors worldwide. These interactions not only help establish the coin's value, but also provide a sense of community and shared excitement. Coins with unique errors become talking points, teaching tools, and sources of inspiration for both experienced and novice collectors. The potential long-term significance of these modern pennies should also be considered. While 2021 D pennies are newly minted and abundant, coins with dramatic errors could gain historical importance over time. As the decades pass, collectors will look back on early 21st century minting and prize examples of unusual errors. The combination of rarity, uniqueness, and documentation may position a dramatic 2021 D penny as a landmark coin for the era, much like how the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent is viewed today. Finally, a compelling aspect of collecting 2021 D penny errors is the thrill of discovery itself. Sorting through rolls, inspecting coins under magnification, and finding a rare anomaly provides a sense of excitement that goes beyond monetary value. The coin becomes a story, a treasure, and a symbol of patience and expertise. Each error tells a story about minting, chance, and human oversight, transforming a small piece of metal into a collectible artifact that captures the imagination of both collectors and viewers alike.